Welcome back to the Express at Cultus Lake Waterpark. We're going to head back onto the slides a little later in the show after we hit the streets of Vancouver to meet a local urban cycling enthusiast who's turned her passion for bikes into a flashy new business.
To Emily Smith, cycling is much more than just a mode of transportation.
It's the best way to see the city, and you can really easily just sort of hop on, hop off.
Emily is a born-again member of Vancouver's thriving bike scene, having rediscovered cycling after moving to this green city from Ontario.
Every time anybody ever comes and visits me, I always take them on a big bike ride, either through English Bay to Stanley Park, and it's really accessible, so.
And one of her favorite cycling hotspots, Commercial Drive.
There's a lot of great parks around there, a lot of green space, and some really great restaurants, and always fun stuff going on, especially during the summer.
For Emily, the fun doesn't stop when the sun goes down. Inside this cluttered East Van workshop, Emily is using old technology to create something futuristic. Electroluminescent or EL wire lights for your bike.
A driver that's driven by a battery pack that delivers energy to a copper wire that's covered in phosphorus. The batteries drive the power that light the current, and it glows bright.
The lights glow any color depending on the tubing you choose. Blue, however, seems to be the most eye-catching.
The reaction, like people would just, point it out and be like, whoa, it's Tron, it's so cool.
It's a bicycle fashion trend that is quickly spreading. Emily is selling the wire kits online with the aim to not only create a successful business, but to encourage more people to cycle day and night.
More than anything, it's a lot of fun. You can explore different spaces because you do feel more safe on it, and people see you more.
And when it comes to adding flair, why should cars have all the fun?
It's just sort of celebrating bike culture.
Tim Chung in Vancouver for The Express.
The kits range in price from $20 to $80, and you can find out more online at the Vancouver Hackspace website. Looks so cool, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend nighttime for our next featured sport, although the glow-in-the-dark would look good with the armor. We're heading to Endless Biking in North Vancouver to learn about the highs of going downhill.
Down bumpy trails, over wooden corners, and taking jumps at high speeds, downhill mountain biking is an extreme sport that's not for everyone. But for Jesse Ritchie, it was the only sport he could do.
I've had surgery on my hip and my knee, and biking was this year the only thing I was allowed to do, doctor's orders.
Brent says the feeling of downhill mountain biking is like no other, and to him it's a hobby he gets paid for.
I just find that, if you get somebody who's just doing something for the first time, it's really neat. Ride her up. It's just, you can't teach and guide for your experience alone. At the end of the day, you may not be riding at the pace that you want to ride. You may not be riding the trails that you want to ride, but you get to take people on trails that to them, they're extreme, and it's really neat for them. And so if you live life through them and through their eyes, it's a really neat experience. That freedom of just having gravity pull you down is just amazing. And within that sport, I found friends that are like family, and it's been a really neat experience. This is an amazing hobby to have, and it's amazing the people that you meet.
All right. So we're gonna need a helmet, pads, a bag to carry all that stuff. We need shin guards, elbow guards, and gloves. I'm invincible
And
now.
after getting geared up,
Go get him, cowboy.
checking my brakes,
I would like to have brakes as well.
Brakes is the most important thing.
making sure I could still ride a two-wheeler, I was ready to hit the mountain and see what it's all about.
Let's go.
So many different things that are the best part. Being in the woods so close to where we live. It's a sport that connects people because there's only people that want to be out here doing it. Meeting guys out here when you're lost, and they show you where to go and they'll ride you out.
One of the things that Endless Biking is really trying to emphasize is that mountain biking is a sport for adults and kids of all ages and all ability levels, and really trying to promote it as a part of having a healthy, active lifestyle. So you can go right from being a beginner and all the way through to the example of the elderly woman that we work with here that you know, is in her mid to late 60s and just learning how to ride a bike.
Weighting that front wheel is really important. So a nice neutral position.
Just being away from the worries of your everyday life, coming out here and feeling stress-free.
I'm Peter Verge in North Vancouver for The Express.
Endless Biking offers lessons and programs for all ages and thankfully all skill levels. The website is endlessbiking.com. You're watching The Express and we have more summer fun coming up. After the break, Cultus Lake Waterpark.
If you want to go fast, get on your heels, get on your shoulder blades, lie down and just cruise.
Even if you do fall, you're not going to fall more than a foot or so.
The Edge Climbing Center.
This is a great workout.
The Express. We are your local voice.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by
hairstyling and color services for Shaw TV, provided by The Lounge Hair Studio, loungehairstudio.com.
Welcome back to The Express at BC's #1 water park. Now today's show is all about making the most of the long weekend, and that includes making the most of your trip here to Cultus Lake Waterpark. The popularity of the speed slide and free fall shows us that most sliders are looking for a fast ride. So what's the trick to picking up speed?
When sliding, if you want to go fast, get on your heels, get on your shoulder blades, lie down and just cruise. It's great.
No hot dogging though. Safety always comes first.
Make sure you follow the rules, of course, in the park and the lifeguards. You want to be safe while you're here as well.
The Pirates Cove rules say children must be supervised by a responsible adult. I guess I can't go on it then. With so many fun slides and rides in the park, how do you decide where to start?
Don't go on your favorite ride first because you save your best for last.
That's one strategy. Paul has another.
Go to the ride you want to do first when it's less busy. As it gets busier, go to some of the other rides. Go for lunch when people aren't going for lunch, so you're not waiting in line. And yeah, just plan to spend the day. You can make a full day out of it very easily.
Another tip, visiting the park on a not so sunny day means shorter lines. And that can also mean some shivers. For warmer waters, you can take a cruise on the Adventure River. The Adventure River's warm, but the hot tub is hot. So of course, hot tub party, best way to warm up. You can also go for a hot chocolate or a chai tea, or better yet, an espresso to warm yourself up and power you up those stairs to the Valley of Fear. From the sounds of the screams, I'd say the adrenaline rush will also warm you up.
Oh my God, I got
One more tip, Paul says to go the fastest, you need to slide in the rain, because then the slides are completely wet. Now, another fun long weekend activity is rock climbing. So here's another piece of advice. Before you hit the big mountains, start inside. You can learn from the pros at North Vancouver's Edge Climbing Center.
A long weekend excursion to the Edge Climbing Center means new challenges, new victories, and some fitness.
This is a great workout. And I'm only about 25 feet up.
We get a lot of people who come here who essentially don't really know what climbing is. Maybe they've seen it on TV or seen it in a movie. And a lot of times it's actually a lot easier than they thought. And they thought perhaps the incorrect thought is that there's a lot of complexity to it. But it's actually pretty simple. There's a rope that keeps you safe. There's a harness that you learn how to put on. And essentially in our classes we teach you, we show you how to bring a partner up and down the wall really safely. And if they should fall, we show you how to catch them safely. And that's about it.
When I'm belaying you here, I'm taking in your slack rope. So even if you do fall, you're not going to fall more than a foot or so. And it's going to be super safe the entire time.
Here you're working your muscle groups all over, but there's a thought process involved. You have to figure out how to do this. So solving the climbing problems, literally, is actually part of the game.
And once you've mastered the basics, the idea is to translate your new skills to rock climbing in the great outdoors.
Long weekends, a lot of our climbers will disappear into the climbing destinations locally. For example, Skaha, just up the road into the interior, and the Squamish Chief, which is literally minutes away, is a really, really popular destination for our own climbers, and as well as world-class destinations for travelers from all over the world. However, sometimes they get rained out, or sometimes if it gets dark outside and the sun has set, but they haven't done their training and they really want to work out, a lot of times they'll end up here because we're still open.
And with literally dozens of climbing routes to choose from at the Edge, you could spend your whole long weekend in here.
Last one. Yeah. Woo! Nice job.
In North Vancouver, I'm Kendall Harris for The Express.
You can go online to edgeclimbing.com to find out about courses at a center near you. Now you're watching our Express, making the most of the long weekend special. We gave it an extra long name so we could stretch out those last days of summer. And here's some more summer fun ideas with our Cultus Lake Big Summer Spotlight. With more than 50 thrilling rides, attractions, and food, the Fair at the Peony is definitely a favorite summer event. This is your last weekend to check out the summer night concerts, legendary super dogs, and the nighttime finale, Pop City. A shopping extravaganza featuring Asian traditional crafts, fashionable gifts, and tasty ethnic snacks. Spend your summer evenings at the Chinatown Night Market, the first of its kind in North America. Celebrating its 22nd season in 2011, Bard on the Beach is one of Canada's largest professional Shakespeare festivals, presented of course in the magnificent setting on the waterfront of Vancouver's Vanier Park. Cultus Lake Waterpark is also a Labor Day long weekend favorite. The park closes after September the 5th. Now we're going to close our show with something that's guaranteed to make you smile, and we'll see you next time.